One of the things that's so messed up about this Mesora article, this would be horrible. Dayenu, if this was the only time that this had happened. This was the first time that any Jew of color had heard something like this would be horrible enough. But this kind of rhetoric that blacks need to learn a lesson, Jews didn't loot after the Holocaust, Jews have never rioted. This type of rhetoric, I hear it on WhatsApp. I have heard it, I've seen it in comment sections. I've seen it in comment sections all around the web. This reminds me of way back in the day. My very first day in yeshiva. My very first day in yeshiva at Or Sameach in Jerusalem. It was about 6 weeks after my conversion. We're talking about 20 years ago at this point. I was idealistic, had just become a member of Klal Yisrael. I was ecstatic, and I was ecstatic to be able to learn Torah in the holy city in Yerushalayim. It was like a fulfillment of a dream come true for me. My very first class in yeshiva was a class on Chumash, on the written Torah. The very first class was a class on the difference between the Eved Ivri, the Hebrew slave, and the Eved Canaani, the Canaanite slave. The rabbi who was given the class gave the distinction like this. The Hebrew slave, he's your brother and you can't work him very hard and you have to give him Shabbat off. The Canaanite slave, he's a big Shvatza. You can slap him around until you knock out a tooth. And that rabbi would spend months apologizing to me and would eventually try to make amends. But that was my introduction to yeshiva learning. And if other Jews of color are hearing this in other environments, this isn't the only person who's saying things like this. This isn't the only rabbi who's talking like this. It's up to everybody, not just Jews of color. It's up to every member of Klal Yisrael to call this racism out and to not let Rabbanim get away with things like this. If you hear a Rav saying blatantly racist things, that's not from Kedusha. That's not from the Torah. That's from his own Yetzer Hara. And we need to call that out to make sure that Torah and racism stay separated. Peace.